When I became a man, let's take a
Oh my god. Yes, bitch. We're here. We've arrived. You know what it is. It's time. I'm here. I'm Klubaing. I'm marking. See this shit? Got the iced coffee ready. Got that fucking straw. Got the fucking morning shit. I'm sorry if that was too active for you, but you know we have energy here sometimes. We're in the Storm Realm, and in the Storm Realm, you need all the power you can possibly muster to battle against the bullshit retardism that we're doing here. But today, we are actually not in the Storm Realm. We're running back to Eltona to get the Wind Rains so that we can cross the border. There's basically a giant tornado we got to get across here to see what's going on in the true Storm Realm, because there are mysteries that need to be solved here. Not just in the town below, but the town above. And while we're doing that, we're basically just gonna go back to the Sweet Tower, fight a boss. You know, fight a god, as you always have to do to solve any problem in this damn game. And yeah, I'm just gonna go rant on platitudes. It is the Storm Realm, so we're gonna be kind of arguing, kind of ranting, kind of angry, kind of active-ish. Yeah, I'm just gonna talk about what was I gonna name this one? The American Storm Realm Destruction. See, I feel like the West in general, the one free fucking nation that everybody's running to, you know? I think it's being destroyed by the fact of you know, just a Storm Realm meta. You know, just the fact of the Storm Realm being so damn powerful. Holy shit. I'm sorry. I'll mute that next time. I just want to show my power level off for the first time there. I usually don't eat breakfast, but I ate... Well, I guess I woke up at like 3 a.m., so... I guess eating something at 5 really isn't that much of breakfast, but... I had a protein bar. I'm gonna get iced coffee here. Oh, that is good iced coffee. That's good iced coffee. So we feel rejuvenated. And holy shit, I forgot my train of thought. But yeah, you know, the meta of America has evolved as far as arguments and battles wise, but the problem with this evolution is that it doesn't really value what you know, truly, what do you call it, unifies our culture. You know, it is not really valuing that, you know, as in general. If you want to evolve the males, or, you know, the humans in general, you know, those who tend to interact with more masculine qualities, you have to have a generally good method to pass on the truth, pass on the knowledge, you know, pass on basically the essence of how to do it. And nowadays, a lot of people don't value the actual understandings of things, the actual essence of things, because we all feel, at least I do, we feel like we've been lied to. You know, just as far as, you know, the things we have to do to get where we need to be, and how they have changed. And it's not necessarily anyone's specific fault. It's more of a combination of, like, the technology evolving too fast, and in general, us not having suitable replacements for our convenience. You know, we've convenienced ourselves out of, you know, essentially knowledge. It's essentially enlightenment, because it's all too fucking convenient. You don't need to be enlightened. You know, you just need DoorDash. You don't need enlightenment. You just need Uber. But you can't really commodify and Amazon home a care package for this shit. You know, you have to really go inside yourself and find what you specifically want instead of essentially going by American politics and consuming everything until you feel like you're okay with yourself now. Because that's really what American politics and all these arguments are really about in the natural discourse nowadays. It's very sad. But all it really boils down to, at least the popular stuff that people actually get talking about and get, passionate about here. Yeah, it all generally just boils down to, I will buy red product, I will not buy blue product, Like that's the only thing I talk about. I'm just talking about how I'm not going to buy the Nintendo Switch. I feel like American politics are just so disgustingly consumer focused. Because that's just, well, it's once again, we could always bring this back to my one saying. This is like my catchphrase now. Besides the catchphrase that I hope you're having a good whatever day I upload this on. But my other catchphrase. We do not do what is easy or what is hard. We just do what is natural. What have we been used to? And since a very, very early period, we've always been about buying shit, but about the right shit, and sometimes too much shit, and sometimes not enough shit. But that's what America's always been. It's always been a consumer-based economy. It's always been about products and trade. America was built up upon its trade. We were not built up upon its, military or whatever the fuck you think. It was built up upon the trade. Before we really had good food. We just traded a bunch of spices, or was that Europe? I don't know. I'm not too well versed in history. That's one thing I really want to work on as well, because I feel like with a lot of JRPGs, they tend to borrow from world history a lot, not just westernized lore. They tend to borrow from a lot of different worlds, especially these Japanese RPGs. So, should probably get more well versed in actually what happens there. That's one of the topics in school that I actually enjoyed, because it's one of the things that you can just remember it. You don't have to actually apply it. So the way school taught it actually made sense. Crazy, right? I'm just kidding. I had good teachers. We all have had good teachers that sort of enforce us to learn the right way. I just have a problem with the whole testing system, personally, because I don't think a test really, in the classical way it is given. I don't think it really shows a competence that's needed, a proficiency that's needed to actually do the job that the test gave you or whatever the fuck. I don't really think it proves anything in general. Just proves you know how to cheat, or how to memorize a bunch of bullshit that you're gonna get rid of the second you finish the test. Yeah, it's quite sad. It's quite sad. And you can storm roam me to death with this. Go ahead, start your engines. Start your flame orbs, grab your pitchforks. I am not an advocate for school, college, or anything education-wise, because I feel like if you have a head on your shoulders, you should use it with the internet. But that's more of a millennial take. I feel like as millennials, we were kind of gaslit, manipulated, whatever you want to call it. Maybe too apathetically optimistic. But nevertheless, we saw the world that the boomers created. And we said, you know what, guys? This is fine. We're just going to go along with it. And we went along with it because it was fine. And then 10 years later, we're suffering the consequences. And that's just what it is, man. You can't live in this defeatist victim mindset, and that's what all of us are in because of our horrible school sets, you know what I'm saying? Our school raisings, they all teach us to be docile, resilient puppets who have no autonomy and no advocacy for our own rights, and we're just doing what are told, constantly, and of course that's gonna bring you through some areas of your life. I'm not saying to never listen to anyone ever again. I'm just saying, if you're a guy, especially if you're a guy, it's time to go your own way. Oftentimes, when we're in this 25 to 35 state, we're all looking around like, what do I do? What should I do? Like, what path should I go on? And you have to really just lean back, chill out, do what you naturally do, do what comes to you. And I am one of the quote unquote bad ones that preaches, who cares if it's a vice, if it's a crime, if it's illegal? It's what you were put on the earth to fucking do, you bitch. And if it's something you really want to work against, then really work against it. But like decide why. Because if it's something you're naturally doing and you're working against it, I want you to realize that you will have to work against that natural want your entire fucking life. You're never gonna stop wanting to watch porn. You're never gonna stop wanting to watch weed, smoke weed. You're never gonna want to stop being a hoe if you are a hoe. The hoe-ness will come back to you. And so, if you're okay with the amount of effort you're putting in to stop this vice or whatever it is, if you're okay with that, then sure, continue. But if it is so hard that it takes away from the natural enjoyment of life, the natural flow of life, dial it back. Because what the fuck are we here for, man? To enjoy it. Obviously, this horrible thing you're doing, this vice or whatever you want to call it, the thing you do that you don't like has helped you get to where you are today, whether it be in a good state or a bad state. I say, you're here. You're alive. You're listening to a podcast with perhaps an electronic device. You're in a good place. I don't care who you are. I'm horribly depressed. I do not want to be here. I think I'm in a good place. And that's not just because I'm in America. That's because I'm on the earth, there is a sun, I can breathe the air, and it is fresh and beautiful outside. I'm sorry if you're in California, because it may not be like that. But if you're in a place where you have fresh and beautiful air, go outside, take a whiff, and come back inside, because those bitches are crazy. Those bitches and those assholes are crazy. You know what I'm saying? We ain't holding nothing back. Everybody a little wild,
So,
Among all colors, creeds, races, generations, there's always a couple outliers of weirdos. But the fact of the matter is that we're all pretty much trash human beings. And it hasn't proven me wrong once in life, you know what I'm saying? Of course, I know that's me. But everybody's got to make mistakes. Everybody has to make mistakes. And the only ones that I personally can't forgive or deal with are the people who act like they don't. Like they shit don't stink. Those are the worst. I feel like I've always kind of downplayed, how good I try to be, and try to try to sort of manipulate the game, humbleize myself, modesty myself into a higher state. But I really do try to be kind, I really do try. Nowadays, that equates to a lot more silence, because I'm not gonna lie, back in the day, I used to think of myself as a bit of the funny man. A bit of the giggly gackly. I don't know what that word was. I don't think it was a word. But anyways, I used to consider myself a funny guy. But then, somebody said to me, he's like, DeMarcus, you're not really funny. You just kind of make fun of people in an interesting way. It's a detrimental humor. I guess it's humor, but it's just kind of mean. And so now, you don't have to take criticisms like that to heart, but I decided to. And so now, sure, I'll be funny every now and then, but usually I just shut the fuck up, I don't have anything good to say about you. Now, I could take you down a peg, but I'd rather you do that yourself, is the kind of style I go for now. And this is a very boring life. So it's one of those things, like, if it's something you really want to change, of course you can change it, and I don't even mind the hit to my nature that it takes, because personally I feel like just having that sort of hindsight, that extra layer of connectivity to my comedy brain fighting skills. You know, it helps you put less foot in your mouth as well. You know, that's definitely not a bad thing. And so you have to recall the fact that your nature will indeed come back. Will indeed swoop you back in the ass. So, you know, it's a good thing to leave it on the ground for I suppose like something better, you know, along the way to come. It's kind of like the pause I took there. You know, you sometimes you realize you just don't have anything that will positively affect the situation. You know? And the groups and the 1 to 2s are usually silent too. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean to make things awkward, but you know, if you say something dumb and we're in a group setting, I don't want to like shame you in front of everybody. And of course, for most people, this isn't natural. If you take a step back in perspective in your mind and take a look at your thoughts, you may realize that the first thoughts that come into your head are usually the negative ones about other people. Are usually the judgments that are maybe a little bit too blunt, maybe? And having a habit of just holding those in your mind for a little bit longer, I feel like is a good thing to build. And of course, your nature's always kind of gonna be there, but you know, it's a habit forming. You know, it's just leveling up a little bit. It's growing your critical thinking. It's evolving, and a lot of people don't respect that evolution. You know, some people might look at my mannerisms now and be like, he used to be so loud. Why is he so quiet now? Or as a matter of fact, that has happened through a couple of job situations. Because I was just thinking about this back a couple days ago. But yeah, I'm in the double digits of jobs now, and I've been like working since I was, I think, 20. Maybe 19. But yeah, 20, if I was working at 20, it'd be like 10 jobs in 9 years. Over 10 jobs in 9 years. And this is not counting all of the wonderful plays and shows I've been in as well. So just going over that and then going over my natural work processes, you know, like, cause I'm very, I don't know, just personable at first. I wouldn't say kind, obviously, because the whole thing that I fucking literally just went through. But I feel like on a certain level, I feel relatable, easy to talk to. It also helps that I'm not ugly and tall. And so eventually, I learned the job, you know, I learned the place, and then my kindness sort of dissipates for silence, for me showing up but not really showing up. And this happens at every workplace, man. I swear to you. It's not like I try to, you know, check out. It's just when I get used to people, I don't feel like I need to talk to them. Because guess what I don't want to do? Talk to them. Usually. So when I'm used to you and I don't talk to you, that's a sign that I actually really like you. Most of the time. It could be a sign that I hate you. But you'll never really know. And that's the problem about jobs. Is that sometimes, man, I feel like most times they kind of just want that security of a young lapdog who they can just beck and call and snap and he'll be happy at the fucking finger or whatever. And I mean, like, who else loves coming into work like a fucking golden retriever and be like, hey. I don't like doing that. I feel like I've discussed this before, but you know, just the simple fact of me coming home to like a girlfriend or something and her asking me how my day was, give me a hug sounds fucking awful. That sounds terrible. And maybe that's perhaps because I've never fucking had it, you know? Held a girl down for more than a year, I'd maybe think differently about that, but I have not. And like most things, I'm very open to trying new ways to come at things, you know? But I have to have solace in the fact that I actually like doing it, you know, that I'm actually in favor of this new method. A lot of people try to white knuckle their vices away, and I'm like, sure, if you like doing that, if it's fun for you. But like, why are we doing all this bullshit in our lives that really just kills us faster? Like, do you want to stay on this earth? I guess not, because the stress scientifically does make you die faster. And I will preach, from till the cows come home, that this world is trash, and if you want to leave, I don't blame you. I'm one of the people that does. But for me, what keeps me here is sort of my responsibility to the craft, to the love. Because that's what I see myself as. It's the craft of life, and it's the craft of, all this creative shit that I do. But I think that's why a lot of people are lost and disturbed nowadays, because they don't understand the craft of life, the craft of love, Love truly is taking action, is doing, is feeling, is flowing through it. And there can be a lot of things, man. There can be a lot of things stopping you from consuming, because, like, Jesus Christ, it's in the last 10 years we've came up with like 80 million different distractions, and now you don't even really have to use your brain. Crazily enough, right? You don't even really have to use your brain at all. If you have enough distractions, if you have the right distractions, brain power in the whole year of 2025, year of the truth, is really it's optional. It's completely and utterly optional. And for the most part, I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think that's a bad thing, because back in the day, like, you think there were like endless amounts of intellectuals and people or whatever. See, the bad thing about it is not the technology or whatever. I feel like it's the expectations of everybody to be this incredible, amazing person, and if you're not, you don't deserve anything. Like, because we don't need this many amazing, incredible people. Real talk. I'm just being real. We don't need them anymore. All these great people in the world, we don't need them. Unnecessary. And that's what a lot of people are telling us. We ran out of that autonomy or dichotomy, rather, of, a partner system, a community system working together. And now it's all just us talking to screens and mics and, podcasting to find a community or whatever the fuck. Because the Storm Realm meta, American Storm Realm Destruction decided, gave us the divine intervention that you guys don't agree. And what's funny is, nobody's born thinking that. Nobody's born thinking, I have to fight everybody who disagrees with me. That's something that literally is baked into us from our environment, from, not only our parents, but the socioeconomical places we're in, and all this shit. It's baked into that. It's deep in there. It's deep in our soul. And that's okay. There's really good things about a consumerist mindset. There's really good things about having people challenge the norms and challenge other people's viewpoints. But I feel like our retardation of people just being like, fuck, man, I don't want to learn about your different style of thinking. You're just wrong. I'm like, yeah, okay. The closed-mindedness is kind of crazy nowadays. It's kind of crazy nowadays, which is insane to me, because I feel like we've been so diverse for so long, and then you're getting like closed-minded in a diverse mindset, I was raised Christian, so I still believe in a lot of the Christian ideologies, and one of them is everything in moderation. Everything in moderation. And I do believe that. If you want to be a balanced, healthy individual, you have to be in moderation. The problem with today's society is being balanced and healthy will probably get you killed. you do not want to come off as too leveled, you know? And teetering on that edge of just normality, you know, if there is a normality now, teetering on that edge will, you know, just have you teetering for the rest of your life. And personally, that's a long time to teeter for me. I'm trying to speedrun this shit. I'm trying to get this shit over with. It's really terrible here. But for me, at the same time, as much as I'd love to just end it all, get this shit over with, I really feel like nobody else should have this experience of just total social apathy. So, before I leave you, I'd love to just outline, you know, figure out what the fuck we need to do to get out of this, I don't know, quote unquote American rat race, whatever you want to call it, man. This is American dragon race. You know, whatever steps we need to logically take, you know, whatever pathways can be set up for the future generations, I feel like we need to start doing that now, like yesterday. Because I'm so fucking pissed off at the baby boomers. I'm so, like, I am elegantly pissed off. And I feel like, sure, I could go outside and kill a bunch of baby boomers, but COVID already did that. So instead, I'll just do what they should have done for me. You know? That's not bad, right? That's a good thing to dedicate myself to. That's a good, you know, secondary goal besides from being the greatest entertainer of all time, which will happen. Don't you worry about that little chatter. It will happen. It will happen. I feel like we're already there. But it will happen. It will happen. If it's not me, then I will build the mind that will make it happen. Just like good old Tupac, you know? Who's still probably out there with Epstein. But we're almost done with this one here. I'll give it a little break from the podcast to get back to the game. This is one of my favorite dungeons. It really reminds me of one of the early dungeons from Eiyuden Chronicle. I might record that one too. I have a capture card for it, but I only have it on Game Pass, so you know I probably should get on that. I had a lot of fun with Eiyuden Chronicle, Hunted Hero, and yeah, this really reminds me of the first dungeon in that game. Strangely enough. Pretty cool. We love the whole Vine dungeons. It reminds me of another one in Final Fantasy X. Had the blue, you know, viney dungeon, maybe a little Maple Story nostalgia here as well. But this is one of the last dungeons of version 3, actually. This is like the second to last, because you have the tower in the last one. And I really like they amped up the level, definitely, with version 3. Version 4, I'm gonna be honest, guys, I really hardly remember anything about that shit, so I don't know if the dungeon quality really goes up that high, but I know voice acting gets added in version 5, and then everything goes really, really good. So, hopefully you'll be amped for that. I really do like these version 3 areas, though. I hope you all enjoy the rest of this episode, where we go fight a little more battles here. This guy, I believe he was in another Dragon Quest game. I don't necessarily remember. But essentially, this is where we meet the last god of the realm. As you see here, we've met all the gods, all the realms, and I think it's apt as fuck. I don't know how I've you know, perfectly done this entire, you know, analogy here, but I think it's very appropriate that the god of the Storm Realm, as you'll see, who uses the Wind Rains here, is protected by a certain, you know, type of guardian, and you'll see here through the dialogue and in areas like that. But essentially, he's a hothead. He's a super big hothead who just gets angry for no fucking reason at all. And the Storm Realm god, however, Storm Realm, right? Very calm, very elegant. It's a fucking deer, you know? It's literally the most docile animal of mankind. You know, they see predators like I am prey. I'm just gonna run. You know, but the funny thing about deers is they can fucking kill you. Deers are not weak. Deers are the least weak fucking animal ever. You know, I swear to God, they will murder your ass. It's like have you ever hit a deer with your car? That car is not fucking living. That car will probably be totaled. That car, the car is very sorry. That car did not meet it. But yeah, I just think it's very funny because Storm Realm in general, you're gonna see just throughout it, many conflicts arise. And the funny thing about conflicts, like I said, in America, we love conflicts. But they're mostly just about buying goods, you know, which red good, blue good you buy, be good. And also, we don't appeal to facts, we appeal to emotions. So imagine this, you know, if somebody gives you the right emotional spell, you're just gonna buy the crazy thing, you know? And because of that, these moderate takes, these level takes of people being like, I'm not really gonna appeal to emotion, I'm just gonna tell you what's going on, and then you can decide like a sensible human being. They don't get a lot of traction here. They don't get a lot of push here. They don't get a lot of movement here. Because it doesn't get reactions from people. You know, it helps people sort of level off and, you know, get off the internet. And guess what? People don't want you to eat. Oh, internet. I know I don't. You see, I got this damn channel. I want you on the internet all the damn time. Just on my playlist. Just play the playlist, guys. Just keep playing the playlist, guys. Keep it. Okay. I'm losing my fucking mind in this episode. I don't know what's going on now. Essentially, I'm a little crashy out here because it's the Storm Realm, and I have no one else to crash out on, so I feel like I have to crash out on myself twice as hard. Right? That's how that works, right? Let's go back to gameplay talks again because I've kind of lost the plot with the analogy. We're playing as the thief now because, well, it's actually kind of a funny story there. I thought the hermit class was going to need the thief to be high level, but it's a healer class, so it was the ranger, not the thief. And I just feel really dumb, but not entirely because now I have a really high level thief on this character, which is not going to be useless. There are a few bosses that you'll need Thief for, and that's because Thief has a lot of stun. You're going to want to put the hammer on him, and then there's a couple of bosses that you can cheese quite easily, just with a little stun. You know, just a little stun. Just, you know, stop fucking moving, you bitch. And then you can kind of cheese them. But yeah, I don't really need this class to be 100. I have him pretty high level right now. It's like 84, so I might get him to like the 90s and then just stop. But yeah, that's why we're playing as Thief right now. There's no real reason. I don't feel like, you know, I don't feel like Asmon's a slave master or anything with a whip or anything. I just, you know, it's just what I have in the inventory. Don't look into it too much. Oh my god. This is supposed to be Asmon Gold, by the way. And then we have Smugglon and Leaflets. And I still have my chamois there as just our little pet. I believe, as far as the playthrough goes now, chamois is pretty much fully built, so that's pretty awesome. Now we have 2 healers, which will be incredibly helpful for the future. I feel like chamois might take me through one of the crazy ass version 5 bosses that I really hate, so hopefully that'll be easy. Coming up in these next couple years here. Well, we'll see, man. Yeah, so there he is. Our anger management individual here is being reined in by the divine deer. I actually don't know if it's a deer or what animal it's supposed to be, really, but, you know, nevertheless, they have a calm... Oh, antelope. It's an antelope. Is that kind of like... I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if my analogy still fits here. But, yeah, they're the gods of this realm, and they're going to help us. We're going to give them the wind rains, which is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool set. We can actually see how they look now. Very interesting stuff. One thing I really love about this game, although, you know, it seems kind of overkill to even make it an MMO, because, you know, it's mostly single player in the gameplay wise aspect, right? If you want it to be. The MMO aspect of it is amazing though. But anyways, I'm so tangent based. I'm so fucking tangent coded. Anyways, one thing I really love about this game is that they love to change the characters' models with all like the things you equipped and the things you put on them and the weapons you currently have and stuff. So here's how the win rates look. You know, sometimes they even have the items in people's hands and things like that. And just for even MMOs that were made at this time, like this came out like 2014, 2015. A lot of games did not do things like this. A lot of games still don't do things like this. And I'm so pissed off because I feel like this is why I don't buy games anymore. They just don't try. Like Arkham Asylum came out in like 2014, 2012, it was like an early 2018, 2015. And I feel like graphics really haven't gotten as good as that. I feel like graphics really didn't go that far past Final Fantasy X, if I'm being real. And if I'm really being real, I wish they still looked like this. This looks fucking amazing to me. Especially when we get to like version 7 now, that they're at in the current 2025 area. Version 7 environments look very well. They don't even really clash with the old environments, strangely enough. But that's enough of me platituding on about bullshit. Bullshit. We gotta go. We have to leave. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all had a good time. We fought 2 bosses today. We worshipped a little bit. We argued a little bit. I hope you got a little bit angry. Go ahead and leave a comment about what you felt you connected with or you wanted to say something on. Remember to drop a subscribe and a like if you enjoyed what you liked, or subscribed to the liked, or liked to subscribe.
You know, never leave me alone. Keep trying, hit me with your bum, 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 bum. I steady on my load. Got it, bitch. I don't need a load. Bust a bitch, crucify the coochie, we never cut on. Nigga hard to reach, me no hello. Smoke a hoe, chain fruit,